Hey, where'd you go, Claire? Who said you were allowed to leave, huh? I can't believe the disrespect. Not even a proper goodbye.
Well, can you really blame me? You kind of left me no choice. Because of you, I'm completely drenched from head to toe. I need to go home now and dry off so I don't catch a cold. What is your problem with me anyway? I assume you didn't dump a bucket of water over my head for no reason.
You really don't know why? That's what you get for deceiving my son. Sorry to foil your little scheme, but the jig is up. I don't know if it's money or my house you're after, but you're not getting either of it. You may have fooled my son, but not me.
I'm sorry? I have no idea what you're talking about. All I did was show up to your home with Evan so we could get you and Diane's blessing to get married. What makes you think I tricked Evan? Where is this coming from?
Oh, playing dumb, I see. I told you, the jig is up. You lied to Evan about your education. I heard you're a high school dropout.
Excuse me? Where exactly did you hear that?
One of the younger guys from the office told me. When Evan first started dating you, I brought it up at work that my son had a new girlfriend. One of the kids I supervised went to the same high school as you. What a small world, huh? Anyway, he's the one who told me you were a high school dropout. That means you were only able to finish middle school.
A former classmate, you say? Interesting. But why are you accusing me of trying to trick your son?
My family has a long history of high academic achievements, you know. My father, me, Evan, all the men in my family graduated from Ivy League schools. My wife, Diane, and my daughter, Sienna, also graduated from prestigious private schools. But my son, marrying someone who never even made it past high school? This is an outrage! I'll be a laughingstock! Think of what my relatives would say!
Okay.
You're lucky you have a pretty face. I'm sure it worked to your advantage when you were seducing Evan. But I can't be fooled. You're an idiot and an airhead, and my son doesn't deserve a woman like you.
So let me get this straight. Because you didn't like what you assumed about my educational background, you decided you wanted to get rid of me. And you thought the best way to do that was to dump water over my head?
I've dealt with dense dummies like yourself before. It's the easiest way to get the point across. If you ever come back to my house again, it'll be mud I'll be dumping over your head. I will never give you my blessing to marry my son. If you knew your place, you would have never had the gall to show up here.
I see. Fine then, we'll call off the engagement. I won't marry Evan. That way you'll get what you want, right, Hal?
Exactly. I guess you're not as stupid as I thought. Glad you finally came to your senses.
Oh, I've come to my senses all right. I realize that I don't want to marry into a family where I have to deal with someone as childish and barbaric as you. For someone who boasts about their high education, what you're saying is incredibly immature, don't you think? Your insults are so juvenile and repetitive, I feel like I'm talking to an arrogant little kid.
What did you just say to me?
On top of that, you're quite cowardly and sneaky. You kept your mouth shut the whole time Evan and I were talking about wanting to get married. Then Evan stepped out to make a phone call, and Diane went to grab some drinks from the kitchen. It wasn't until we were alone that you decided to show your aggressive side. What's worse, right after you did what you did and got me drenched, you started talking about needing a smoke and got out of there as fast as you possibly could. A blink of the eye and you were gone. You deliberately attacked me, and only when no one else was around to see it. Then you immediately ran away. And now you're texting me to complain instead of talking to me in person when you had the opportunity to do so earlier. You're a spineless, mean-spirited person. It's really kind of sad.
Aha! You finally decided to show your true colors. That's how you tricked my son, too, right? By pretending to be a little goody two-shoes. I'm just glad I could expose you. I don't want my son marrying a scammer.
I was just stating facts about what happened earlier. And besides, you're missing the point entirely. Is it even possible to have a normal human conversation with you?
Shut up! I don't care what you have to say. I never want you to step foot in my house again. Don't ever think of coming back here, or else!
Understood. I thought we were getting along well. I've been keeping you posted about our lives. I would even call you every now and again. I was just trying to build a good relationship with my boyfriend's father. It's unfortunate how things turned out. Goodbye.
Hal? Hal! Oh, I've been calling you for ages. Pick up already. Where'd you go? And why aren't you answering?
Shut up, Diane! I heard my phone ringing the first dozen times. Why don't you take a hint and knock it off? I'm at my usual bar, raising a glass to myself for a job well done. So let me celebrate in peace.
Huh? You're out drinking? I came back to an empty living room after getting drinks for everyone. The floor was all wet. No sign of Claire or Evan. And you were gone too. Ugh, Evan's been texting me, and he's livid. I've been scrambling trying to deal with this, and you're out drinking? And what do you mean by celebrate? What exactly are you celebrating?
I drove out that wretched scammer that our son's been dating. I saved the whole family from being tricked by her. That'll teach her. Trying to weasel into our family without a decent education? Not on my watch! You should be thanking me honestly.
So what Evan told me was true? You really splashed a bucket of water on Claire so she would leave?
All I did was wash the filth off of that dirty scammer. She was after my money, I know it. I won't accept someone like her as my son's wife. If I'm going to give my blessing, Evan better bring me someone way more intelligent.
I can't believe what you did! You idiot! Do you have any idea how much I was looking forward to Claire and Evan getting married? All the effort I put in to make sure that it happened. 3 years of hard work, all down the drain!
Wait, huh? What in the world are you talking about?
Claire had concerns about marriage and wasn't too enthusiastic about it. Me, Evan, and even Sienna worked so hard to make sure Claire felt welcome and supported by our family. But you ruined everything! You are the absolute worst!
Hey, calm down for a second, would you? What's the big deal? What's your obsession with that high school dropout anyway? There's plenty of other women for Evan, ones that are much better than her. Evan deserves better than that airhead.
What? Have you lost your mind? High school dropout? You didn't say that to her, did you? Oh, God forbid.
Yeah, I did. So what? What's wrong with stating the fact that she only has a middle school education?
It's wrong because it's not true, you buffoon! Oh, no. I can't believe this is happening. Not only did you insult Claire, but you assaulted her too? This is terrible.
I still don't see what the big deal is. Why do you care so much about that woman?
Because Sienna and I are huge fans of hers.
Excuse me? Fans? Of Claire?
Claire graduated from a performing arts high school, one of the most prestigious ones in the country. It's practically impossible to get into. She's one of the most talented and famous stars on Broadway.
What? Broadway?
I have no idea where you heard such an unfounded rumor. But Claire never dropped out of high school. She just took a transfer exam and auditioned during her sophomore year. She left her old school when she got accepted. Do you have absolutely no common sense?
What? How was I supposed to know? That's ridiculous! Who could possibly guess that?
And not only that, she went on to the top performing arts conservatory in the country. She's a college graduate, you idiot! She skyrocketed to stardom as soon as she started getting parts on Broadway shows. She's an exceptional singer and a very gifted actor. Sienna and I both admire her so much.
I can't believe this nonsense!
She's even won awards for her performances. Anyway, Claire is our all-time favorite performer. We've been going to her shows to see her on stage for a while now. When Evan first introduced her to me as his girlfriend, I was absolutely ecstatic. It was a dream come true, a blessing. I felt like the luckiest woman alive.
Whoa! Hold on just a second there. You mean to tell me she's a theater performer? On Broadway? You've got to be kidding me! That woman?
That woman? Bite your tongue. Never speak of her like that again. So disrespectful.
Okay.
Since Evan started dating her, I've been trying to make sure everything went well in their relationship. Without being too intrusive, of course. I've been trying to make sure that we stay on good terms. Oh, I was so nervous because I wanted her to like me. She had reservations about getting married, because of her career. So I told her that I would help her out with anything she needed and support her in absolutely any way. I tried not to come across as being too pushy and handled everything with exceptional care. And at last, Claire and Evan were engaged. But then, you decided to act like a complete imbecile and ruin everything!
Well, how was I supposed to know? It's not my fault the kid who works for me didn't have his facts straight. I was just looking out for my family. I couldn't allow an incompetent woman to marry my son. It's only natural for a father to...
Looking out for your family? Don't give me that bull. Even if you don't like your son's fiancé, that's absolutely no reason to dump water over her head. And then for you to go on and berate her? Who does that? What kind of father are you? Where did you leave your common sense and conscience? In your mother's womb?
Well, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done that, but...
The only places you ever spend your time are at work and at the bars. You've neglected this family for years. And now you want to act like a family man all of a sudden? Ha! Don't make me laugh. All you've done is cause trouble. Our wedding anniversary, our children's birthdays. You were never home to spend time with us. You always preferred to hang out with your mistress.
Whoa. You know about that? But how?
You really thought you were doing a good job hiding it? I know you've been picking up hussies at bars for the last 20 years. After neglecting us all this time, spending your money on those other women, how dare you jeopardize our precious son's relationship?
But those things aren't even related!
Shut it, you nincompoop! I don't care that you went to an Ivy League school. I don't care how much money you make. I have no respect for someone who behaves this way. It's unacceptable. I've had enough. We're through. I'm divorcing you.
To what?
Even though you hardly ever came home. Even though I knew you were fooling around with other women. I always looked the other way. I put up with it because I thought staying together was the best choice I could make for the sake of our children. But I've reached my limit. What little feelings I had left for you, they're gone too. We are getting a divorce, and that's final.
No, this can't be happening! Oh, hold on just a minute! Are we really getting a divorce over something like this? You're joking, right?
This incident was just the last straw. Divorce has been on my mind for a while now. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. We're done!
No, please, think this through! If my relatives find out about it, what will they say? Come on! You have to think about the position that puts me in!
I don't care one bit. My future daughter-in-law is way more important. Don't come back home today. Actually, don't come back at all. I never want you to step foot in my house again.
Don't step foot in your house? You can't do that! That's my house!
What are you talking about? This property was a wedding gift from my father, remember? The house, the land, they're all in my name. You really forgot about that?
Huh? Oh.
Once I fill out the divorce papers, I'll send them to your parents' house. I'll have my lawyer contact you with the details. In the meantime, don't try to reach me. Just so you know, your mother is a Broadway aficionado too. Sienna and I started inviting her when we would go to shows, and now she's hooked.
Wait, come on, Diane! You can't do this to me! Hey! Hey you! You better come back to the house this instant! Are you even getting these? Hey!
What do you mean, come back? Didn't you just tell me to never step foot in your house again?
Forget what I said! Just come back already! Talk some sense into Diane, would you? She locked me out of the house!
Yes, I'm aware. Diane told me everything. And no, I'm not going back. I never want to see your face again, ever.
Just come back, okay? It'll be a lot easier to talk to her with you there. I need her to reconsider the divorce. Now that I know all that stuff about your education was a misunderstanding, everything's good. We can start fresh.
Everything's good? That's rich. You really think everything's good after dumping water over my head and insulting me? I haven't even gotten an apology from you yet.
What?
What did you think, that I wouldn't be upset after everything you did to me? You ruined my clothes that I bought especially for the occasion. The water destroyed my favorite watch. And not to mention all the remarks you made about me. Do you really think I wouldn't be furious? Well, evidently I guess you did. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the audacity to ask me to convince your wife to not divorce you without even giving me a proper apology. I shouldn't be surprised. It must be nice having such thick skin.
Well, all right, fine. It was wrong of me to do what I did, okay? I was wrong to assume you only had a middle school education. I was wrong to dump water on you. So come back already and help me situate things with Diane.
Yes, you were wrong. And? All you're doing is stating facts over and over, but I still haven't heard an apology. But I do have to agree with your statements. You were wrong, and this is all your fault. So?
So what? You know, you get what I'm trying to say, don't you?
It's not that hard to say the words, "I'm sorry." It actually requires very little effort. Even now, you prioritize your pathetic pride over showing some decency. If you can't even apologize over text, that's fine with me. But I won't get involved until I receive a proper apology. Goodbye then.
What? Wait! Come on, Claire!
After that, Hal tried to change Diane's mind about getting the divorce any way he possibly could. But suffice to say, things didn't work out in his favor. Diane rejected Hal and ignored him completely. She kept telling him if he wanted to discuss anything, he could discuss it with her lawyer. He reached out to his kids for help, but they wanted nothing to do with him. They told him they never wanted to see him again. Hal's mother found out what he did, and she was so livid that she disowned him. He was disavowed by his relatives too. Worse than being a laughingstock, if you ask me. A month later, Hal and Diane's divorce was finalized. I sued Hal for damages and got a small settlement, just enough to cover the cost of my new outfit he ruined, and my favorite watch he broke. Hal lives on his own in an apartment now, but he doesn't know how to take care of himself properly, so I heard his place is practically a pigsty. He's become a complete wreck. He yelled at my former classmate who told him about my education and told him it was all his fault. My former classmate just assumed I dropped out because he stopped seeing me at school when I transferred. Hal lashed out at others at work too who had nothing to do with the incident. Someone reported him to his supervisor and he got demoted as a result. I can understand why people value education, but they shouldn't lose sight of other important things because of it. As for me, I received many deep-felt apologies from Evan and Diane. They even said they wouldn't blame me if I couldn't forgive them, and that they would understand if I wanted to break off the engagement. But it wasn't their fault, so I told them they had nothing to apologize for. Evan and I stayed engaged, and a year later we got married. Thanks to them, I still get to give my best performance on stage every day. So much happened to get me where I am now, but I'm so grateful to have such an amazing husband and incredibly supportive in-laws.